Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dark Rainbow Idiots.
What's up? How's
How
it
you
going?
doing?
Today we are... Hi, Zuko. So, today, Pokemon aside, we are talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Spoiler alerts for Avengers Infinity War. He has not seen Endgame yet, so I'm not going to talk about that at all. Leave it out of the comments. Don't be that guy. Or girl. Don't be that person. So...
I think we're gonna do Ant-Man and Wasp and older.
Yeah, I think that'll work. I actually, surprisingly enough, I haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp.
Really?
I've only seen the first, 30 minutes of Ant-Man. So spoiler alerts for anything Infinity War and before. Or Ant-Man and the Wasp and before, because it does actually come out after Infinity War, doesn't it?
It does.
But...
It is a quality movie. It really depends on how much you like Ant-Man. Not everybody liked Ant-Man all that much, so you may not want to go see it. But
I didn't know much going into Ant-Man, but I knew enough to know, I have a little bit of comic knowledge as far as that, so I knew that Hank Pym was the original Ant-Man and everything like that, and I know that Scott Lang is now Ant-Man. He's got the Pym particles, he's got the suit and everything. And I watched, the first 30 minutes of Ant-Man, so I know how he got the suit and everything.
that's good.
He's good. I like him. He's funny. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe has always been, I don't know, really in-depth as far as, trying to keep to the comic details.
They've been getting better because when you go back, way back to, X-Men and stuff.
Yeah.
The first 3 X-Men movies. They were in-depth, but not as much as the community wanted, and that's the reason why they're redoing a lot of them.
I don't think it.
Excited about that.
I don't think it helped that X-Men was Fox and has been Fox. I think this entire time.
Well, Fox now is owned by Disney, so it's okay.
Yeah, Disney. Disney takes over the world.
Hashtag Disney takeover.
Not sponsored. But whenever it comes down to it, it started off with Iron Man, and just watching the
It actually
first.
started off with Hulk.
You know what? You're right. It was what? Edward Norton's Hulk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's been forever since I've seen that movie. It was really well done, though. I really like Edward Norton. I love.
It's a shame it was classified as a flop.
Yeah, it was, and it was. Let's see, wasn't it? Simon Pegg was in there.
I really don't.
No, it wasn't Simon Pegg, wasn't it?
It could have been anyone, really.
I couldn't remember if it was Simon Pegg or that one actor from that Lie to Me TV show. It was one of those two. I think it was the actor from Lie to Me that played the main sort of antagonist. But Liv Tyler for the win.
I'm just gonna nod and smile. I know what you're talking about.
All right. So apparently, apart from Hulk, starting with Iron Man, it was really brutal watching him sort of get into the being of Iron Man, just the captivity and everything
but that's Iron Man.
It is Iron Man.
You needed to do that in order to survive.
And the first suit, which is
Mark 1, by the way.
God, it's amazing how that thing even got off the ground. But it's Tony Stark. How could it not?
Right? He was 12 when he built his first car.
Yeah, and I think he was. I wanted to say he was somewhere between 6 and 10 whenever he first took apart a computer and put it back together or something along those lines.
At that time, it would have been a Macintosh. So, taking one of those apart would be OG Bill Gates kind of intelligence.
You know what? Bill Gates is a really intelligent guy, so that's pretty insane.
Oh, yeah.
But
then let's look at who his dad is.
This is true.
Creator of the Captain.
And
Best Avenger, by the way.
Creator of the Captain, creator of Captain's Shield. I know that, of course, he didn't create Vibranium or anything like that, but the
Came
fact...
to the Earth as a blob. How do they form a shield out of it?
I don't know.
Smack it with a hammer, it just reflects it back harder.
And it also helps with the invincibility because it's actually a Vibranium adamantium alloy. So...
It was a Vibranium iron alloy.
No, adamantium. That's what gives it its indestructibility. And there's only been a couple people in comic history that have actually been able to do anything to it. And contrary to the first Avengers movie, I think Thor's hammer was actually able to, put a dent into Cap's shield.
Reality is, I feel like what happened there was because vibranium itself, especially that alloy of vibranium and adamantium, at that point it's soft enough to absorb a hit, but it's
Right.
hard enough to reflect it,
Right.
which is a mathematical impossibility. So at the end of the day, he's gonna take the hit and he's gonna feel it, but it's gonna rebound it back like it's cool.
Another thing is, I think in the first Avengers movie, one of the main reasons that Thor's hammer, that Mjolnir, didn't actually dent the shield is because Thor thought he was probably dealing with just your average Midgard human.
Oh yeah, let him gravity do all the work.
Yeah, he didn't even like full force swing behind it. If he had, I'm pretty sure it would have caved at least a little bit. Maybe.
Or broken Cap's arm.
That too. But that's the thing about it though, is the vibranium just disperses the kinetic energy of it.
Which I really like, because if you've seen, what is it, the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Cap straight up jumps out of the building, lands on the shield, and is just like, what's up? Let's go.
And it's really cool watching Cap work with it, just because Chris Evans is no small dude. And so that shield's gotta be, a good 24 to 28 inches, big.
That's a pizza.
It's a pizza. It is a huge pizza. That's like Nino's Pizza. It's a great little place around here that actually has pizzas that are literally this big. It's insane. It's like, I want to be the bike messenger guy that carries those on deliveries, please.
Right? I think the biggest pizza I've ever seen was a Monsters Pizza, # not sponsored. And that pizza barely fit through a door. And my dad's got this table in his kitchen, or the dining room, which is right next to the kitchen. Anyways, it's a really big table. Like, I'm talking, was it 2 meters wide, squared?
Okay.
Like, that's a really big table.
Yeah, it
and
is.
That pizza from Monsters Pizza, I don't think they sell it anymore, but it would cover most of that table.
Wow.
It was like a square pizza, and you can have sectioned off different flavors and stuff. Like, it was OG big.
That's the definite party pizza.
I mean, when you have a family of 12, then
Yeah, that's just dinner.
you're just feeding everybody.
Man,
Man, I want to get one of those pizzas for us as a group, and then just eat it all on camera.
just go ham and pepperoni and sausage and all that.
Note to self, future Calixto: buy 500 chicken nuggets. Doesn't matter where, and eat it with everybody.
We're going to do a 500 chicken nugget challenge, and it's going to be great. We're going to pull both of our other roommates in on this.
See how long it takes us to eat all of them.
Yeah, that's going to be a really long video.
It really is.
Lot of ranch. Lot of ranch.
Sweet and sour sauce. What are you talking about?
Barbecue. Honey
Ketchup.
mustard. Ketchup. See, we'll be the only ones eating ketchup. They don't like ketchup.
That is depressing.
It is a little depressing, but I can understand it because
But if we get it from McDonald's, # not sponsored, I like the sweet and sour from McDonald's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anywhere else, it's whatever. I think Wendy's sweet and sour is pretty good too.
# not sponsored. Honestly though, I would rather do Wendy's nuggets than McDonald's nuggets. I love Wendy's nuggets so much.
Oh, and since they just changed their recipe, I think. Because
Did they?
Their nuggets tasted way different than they used to.
Well, all right.
I could be wrong.
Hey,
Is he chewing on my shoe?
he was trying to.
Well, you keep talking.
Don't be a pain. So, anyway, so
$10 shoes, but I'm not worried about that.
yeah, so extremely large pizza challenge coming up, extremely large nugget challenge coming up, and Black Pikachu. And I have Jolteon. These belong to our roommates. This belongs to our roommate Tika, and Black Pikachu belongs to our roommate Devin. And peep Zuko's ears. Hey look, it's a camera. No? Okay. Hey man. Getting off track. So, as far as Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and Captain America also came up. So we had Iron Man, Thor,
Google.
Captain America, and Iron Man 2. Well, we're gonna figure out exactly how what the release date of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Honestly, out of the 3 Captain America movies versus the 3 Iron Man movies, I still prefer the Captain America movies because it's way. Yeah, Iron Man is a billionaire bachelor with a lot of money and stuff, and super intelligence and all that, but it's Captain America. He's a boy from Queens.
He is a boy from Queens, and
Or, I think it's Brooklyn.
yeah,
Spider-Man's
it
from
is
Queens.
Brooklyn. Spider-Man's from Queens. Hey, Spirit Man. So let's see. Looking at the in order of release that IMDb, not sponsored, has on the interwebs. Let's check it out. No, come on.
I think we should just all around name the video hashtag not sponsored vlog.
Just not sponsored all the time. Let's see. List of Marvel Cinematic Universe films, because they've been in production since 2007. It says they've released 22 films, and then
It's sad to see that it's going to be ending the way it does.
yeah.
I can't wait to go see it though.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. But overall, I think you are going to love how they wrapped up Endgame.
I don't think I've cried at a single Marvel movie.
Well, if you haven't cried at a single Marvel movie, you might not cry, but it hits you right in the emotions, like, for sure.
Goosebumps for sure, at least.
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
There's going to be parts that you may feel the need to, like, jump up and hoot and holler at, because, like, you might get angry or excited. Like, honestly, God, Avengers Endgame was the most vocal I have ever been in a movie. There were parts where I couldn't keep my mouth shut, and I just, like, shouted out in the theater.
Self-restraint, qualities.
So all right, so Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk both came out in 2008. And then we've got Iron Man 2, 2010. We've got Thor in 2011, Captain America, the First Avenger in 2011. So all of those came out before the first Avengers movie. And I think it really set up a good basis for it, because thankfully Iron Man 2 kind of gave like Thor and Iron Man 2 gave us Clint and Natasha. So having them as part of the group would really, really help out with that. And whenever it came down to watching Captain America, the First Avenger, yeah, it was intense watching Captain America, but seeing him just sort of grow, not only physically but as a character, was a really, really good thing to watch. And it really gave him a different perspective than your average comic books, because usually, instead of being just an actual super soldier, Captain America was just sort of the peak of human perfection.
Well, I mean, like, he's also got the morality and ethics on point, too. But we're going to take a break real quick, because Doggo needs to go outside.
Yep,
We'll
so
be right back.
Be right back. And we back.
We back.
Go. Alright, so, back
Sorry
to
for
it.
the interruption.
That's alright, though, because, puppers are important, too. They are fur babies. So, as far as getting Clint and Natasha in Iron Man 2 and in Thor, I think that really helped, because if it had just been the OG 4 Avengers, if it had just been Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and
I think it would have been really bland.
it would be really, really bland, and I don't know. There's more dynamic to be had whenever you've got, your marksman and then your master assassin.
Oh yeah, and especially what seems like when an arrow shot at Loki and he's just like, ha! You thought you could get me. Boom! Fuck you anyways.
Yep, nope,
Hashtag
peace.
demonetized.
Yep, there it went. Alright, so now that that's happened, on we go. And honestly, I think that having the one scene where Cap's like, "Are you sure about this?" and Nat's just like, "Yeah, it'll be fun," and he just launches her up into the air onto the cruiser ship. It's just like, yeah, I think things like that are definitely needed in a Marvel movie, because we want that action, but we also want that lighthearted humor that you don't normally get.
I mean, like, these are still humans we're talking about. They're going to be reacting and saying things that are going to be on point when it comes to, like, actual combat. Because when you think about it, our troops across seas, at the end of the day, while they're being shot at, they're still making jokes.
Yeah, because if
Not all of them, but a few of them are.
There's a lot of situations like that. If you can't laugh, you'll cry. So you just got to keep going with it. That's
yeah.
one of my favorite things about Universe Change. Beast Boy from DC Comics is he's constantly joking and everything like that because otherwise I'm pretty sure the depression's gonna kill him.
I feel like he'd collapse of depression.
A little bit. So back to Marvel. So Avengers dealing with Loki and the very first appearance of Thanos on the scene and everything like that. I kind of like his new design, to be honest, as opposed to the first one you see in the end credit scene. But I really enjoyed watching the Chitauri and the way they handled keeping them all in a certain perimeter of New York. Because it could have gone really sideways really fast. Because looking at Avengers Infinity War, watching Gamora's planet get taken over, you realize exactly how bad it could have gotten. And it's just like, they left it down to 6 people. Like, they left it...
Yeah.
I think it can amount to more than 6 people when you go to it, because...
I mean, like, you have the entire U.S. military, where America,
and then you've got a super soldier, you've got a master assassin, you've got the best marksman pretty much on the planet, you've got...
with a bow.
Yeah, you got a big green meanie, you've got a demigod, and then, oh gosh, who did I... Oh yeah, Iron Man! But it was amazing watching them be able to...
Oh, and Nick Fury.
And Nick Fury, yeah, because, you know...
You can't forget that motherfucker.
Yeah, no, because he sees all the stupid-ass plans and elects to ignore them. But watching the Avengers just take on everything in New York was really, really intense, really just beautifully done. And I think that it set up a really good foundation for the rest of the 22 movie saga that it was part of.
It really did, because it really came down to the point where Tony, when it came to alien invasion at that point, would come up with snarky comments like in Infinity War, where he'd be like, "Nope, Earth is closed today."
What else do you got for me? Well, Thor's taking down a squad down on board, and he didn't invite me. Just all the good stuff.
Damn.
Moving on, afterwards we got, wow, okay, on to Iron Man 3, 2013.
Honestly, a letdown. It was a bit of a letdown.
Just a little bit. I liked the introduction of the Mandarin, and I liked the Iron Army. The Iron Army just made it for me.
I think my favorite scene in that entire movie is when he's partying and stuff, and then someone, like, rejects him. I think it was a rejection. But anyways, he starts having a panic attack, and he rushes back to his suit, and he's just like, "Jarvis, run a health diagnostics," and Jarvis is like, "You just had a panic attack."
And a lot of places that people really dismiss panic attacks as being actual issues and everything like that, and it sucks because people can be completely rendered helpless in those situations.
Yeah, I feel like everyone should have a buddy,
Yeah.
even if it's a stuffed animal buddy.
Yes, stuffed animals do wonders. Everybody needs a stuffed animal buddy, but the buddy system usually really works because that's one of the things about being with the roommates that we have is we all have our anxiety-filled moments that we
I'm
really
usually pretty good on all that stuff.
I am too. Usually,
Like the other day when we were at the gas station, like I didn't really have a panic attack. I just did not. I'm in a new city.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone just quite yet.
You get used to it after a little while.
Oh yeah.
But moving on into Iron Man 3, a little bit of a letdown. Still good for what it was. Thor: The Dark World, I never actually saw.
I've never seen it.
And
apparently the only good scene in it was the very end fight scene.
Pretty much. That's what I hear too. Everybody that I say that I haven't seen Thor: The Dark World, they're just like, and it's not.
Just watch the fight scene on YouTube and you're good to go.
Yeah. I all I know is Christopher Eccleston as
The baddie, yeah.
Yeah, I want to think it's like Malekith the Terrible or something like that.
I don't know the names.
I don't know. The social media did everything to kind of ruin movies that you haven't seen already. So,
I
And
mean,
but
like 2 weeks after the movie comes out. Spoilers everywhere!
but you've mainly avoided Endgame spoilers so far, haven't you?
I mean, like, there's a few of them, like, images and stuff.
Right.
Of, like, Tony and all that, but
Yeah.
there's not much I can do in those, because those are going to become straight memes.
Yeah.
The moment they hit.
Everything's a meme at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. After Thor: The Dark World, we've got Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
By far, the second best Captain America movie ever to be created.
I really enjoy Winter Soldier just because
You get Bucky.
you get Bucky, and Bucky's just a great character.
Right?
And,
Well, you get that nice metal arm.
oh man, how much for the arm? Oh, I'll get that arm.
But it's not a Wakandan arm yet.
It's not. It really isn't. It's just. Oh gosh, what did they even have?
It's a Soviet arm.
It's just a Soviet arm.
It's just a Soviet steel arm, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang,
I could be
alright.
wrong. Could be vibranium.
But it gave him such a redemption arc, really, in that movie, especially as time goes on and he figures out sort of who he is. And of course he's got a whole lot of issues and everything like that.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you're brainwashed, when being caught by the Soviets.
And that really just runs into Civil War, and I really enjoy watching that. But Bucky and
Civil
Cap's
War is
dynamic,
the best
yeah,
Captain America
oh
movie.
my god, I love it.
You get the introduction of an awesome character,
Spider-Man.
Spidey-Man.
Yeah.
You
All
get
right.
a great background on the Winter Soldier. You get to see the friendship and how far Captain America, Cap, will go to protect his true friends.
The introduction of another awesome character, Black Panther. Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Watch the hate we get for that.
How would we get hate for that?
I don't know. I really don't, because I love these comics so much, and I feel like the world is so full of moments where you can just be hated on that I'm always so cautious because I'm such a people pleaser when it comes to things like that. So I don't
It's not
anticipate.
like we've said Hell Hydra.
I don't anticipate the hate, but if it shows up, I'm not surprised.
So
But-
I'm gonna be straight honest on my channel. If I see any form of hate, any form, I will like your comment and be about my business.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
We may even reference you in a future video just for comedy's sake.
Yeah, you're gonna be the laughing stock.
You
We're
will
gonna
be
call
our
food at
meme.
you.
We will create a meme of you, and it will be absolutely wonderful. We should do it. Oh man, the second hate starts pouring in, we should start doing a react video, just laughing at the hate.
Pelt food at it.
Just oh god. All right. After Captain America: Winter Soldier, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014.
Honestly, both of the Guardians movies have been a super letdown for me.
Okay. I never knew much about the Guardians actually going into the movies. I mainly knew what I knew of the movies. I started looking into the comics afterward. And honestly, the best thing about anything Guardians of the Galaxy related, the soundtrack.
I was gonna say I am Groot.
I am Groot, yes. First
Vin
Groot,
Diesel.
First Groot, and then the soundtrack. But seeing how they develop their characters and everything like that, seeing Gamora go from this edgy, really dark sort of, I don't know, warrior of a woman to the now edgy, dark sort of warrior of a woman that has a little bit more of a heart. I don't know.
Who's more open to her emotions, I guess.
And then watching.
I mean, that's what happens when your dad is Thanos and he like completely shuts you out to be an assassin.
Yeah, it's really sort of it's abuse. It's definitely abuse.
It's child abuse.
And
I think it's like CPS. Hashtag call CPS if needed.
yes, absolutely.
But don't abuse it. Just because you can call CPS on anybody doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Like, I have some friends who have been called on for literally the stupidest reasons. And
Let
it's just
parents
like,
spank their kids if they're acting up. Sorry, that's something I've always gone with. It's just
discipline
like-
is discipline. Use it when needed. And
Right.
don't be too over aggressive with it. But remember, punishment needs to be in place because in real life there is punishment for all your actions.
Oh, I got my ass beat as a kid whenever I would like do something bad, but if it wasn't that bad, it was just like a stern talking to. And honestly,
Oh no, I had a leather belt
oh yeah,
or
Oh, yeah.
a wooden paddle that was used for ping pong that had a face of a tiger on it. Hashtag mom and dad.
And honestly, when it came down to it, the Stern Talking Twos almost did more than just getting a whopping on the behind, because it was just, I don't know, I hate when people are disappointed in me. It almost seems worse than, like, I don't know, getting jumped in a dark alleyway.
But honestly, would you rather get spanked, a lecture, or would you rather be told to stand in the corner? Essentially, physical punishment, verbal punishment, or solitary confinement.
I'd rather take the physical, to be honest.
Honestly, the solitary confinement was my favorite.
I can't stand...
I did not have to endure any pain other than the standing, which, I mean, like, after a while of having to deal with it, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to keep your hands at your sides and keep your eyes in the corner. At that point, what do? Start singing songs to yourself.
Well, and going from sort of solitary sort of confinement to trying to take over the world, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Going from being this one being that is created out of artificial intelligence, and AI, and then all of a sudden trying to take over the world after pretty much trying to take out the
Rest
main...
in peace, Jarvis, by the way.
Rest in peace, Jarvis, but rest in life, Vision. Rest in peace, Vision. I don't know what I just did. Help. But
Welcome to World Vision. Rest in peace, Vision.
Watching Ultron sort of... Well, Ultron sort of pulled a Thanos when you think about it, but like a pre-Thanos Thanos. Just trying to...
Honestly, I feel like Ultron was a mixture of Thanos, Deuteronomy in Iron Man 1.
Right.
And Red Skull, Hydra.
Yeah.
It was just a mixture of everything.
And, like, mixing that with pretty much, what, total human enslavement? Or, no, he just wanted to wreck the world at that point because he was about to drop the city a couple miles out of the sky, drop it onto Earth, and pretty much start another ice age, wasn't he?
Something like that. I don't remember too much of the plot, but I do know...
We need to rewatch a couple of these movies.
It's been a few years. But the idea of dropping a city back into the Earth, that would be acting as like a meteor crashing into the Earth.
It really would, but
that would throw so much debris into the atmosphere that would block the sun.
Yeah, which is, I think, what would cause that initial ice age, that wipe out of human
cause
life.
an apocalyptic life, which then, if it
all that's left is
settled...
Ultron.
Oh yeah. Eventually it would settle, or us humans would collect what resources we could and take the most important people in the world and put them up into the in space until the atmosphere calmed down and settled to come back down and retry.
And I think that would be, effective enough.
I think that it would be an ideal situation, but at the end of the day, like, who would go?
I really don't know, because I feel like the Avengers would, of course, put themselves in space.
They would have tried their hardest to deal with that. But then again, this is Tony we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's involved, so he would take the Avengers anyways.
Yeah.
And anyone important to him, which that list isn't very long.
Yeah, it really isn't. But the list gets longer. It definitely gets longer as the movies go on.
It gets longer right after Civil War starts because he starts feeling all the blame and all that. It hits him hard when a mother is just like, I blame you.
Yeah. And if not that, just pretty much right before it with Iron Man 3.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The PTSD from the attack on New York, he really starts feeling it. He's got a whole lot of lessons in humility across the 22-movie saga. But moving on from that, we've got Ant-Man, which we talked about a little bit already.
Ant-Man was honestly it was an interesting movie. And I kind of wish, I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't seen Endgame. I kind of wish Deuteronomy, I don't remember his name, but one of...
The antagonist of Ant-Man?
No, one of the buddies of the main character.
I got nothing.
The Mexican dude.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've seen him
his
in
flashback
memes
stories?
and gifs, and yeah.
His flashback stories, I swear, if he was in Endgame, I haven't seen it yet, he could be. And he just goes on for like a good 20 minutes explaining everything that's happened up to this point, all the way back to the first movies.
God.
Like, oh my god.
That rundown though.
That 20-minute clip would be nothing, would be worth the ticket to Endgame.
Well, moving on from that, we do get Captain America: Civil War.
Civil War, by far, one of the greatest movies of all time.
I love it. Anything from watching Black Panther rise to his heir, rise to the throne, and taking over after everything that happens with his dad.
Rest in peace, King T'Challa.
T'Chaka.
Chonka.
There you go.
I mean, like, T'Challa does die in Infinity War.
You're right. I think we already said spoiler alert, but spoiler alert! And then you've got the introduction of Spider-Man as just this 15-year-old kid from Queens that has no idea what he's getting into. He's running in there in pretty much a pajama suit. He's totally ready to fight off half of the Avengers in sweatpants.
It's a Stark pajama suit.
No, not that. But before he actually gets a Stark suit, and he's just like, "All right, I got this. You got this. You got this." And all of a sudden, he's just standing there in his pajama suit, and Happy's like, "What are you wearing?" He's like, "Nah, this is my suit. I'm totally ready to fight half the Avengers in my sweatsuit. I'm good. This is gonna be fine."
Open up the briefcase.
What? This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, is this for me? But going through Civil War, seeing, let's see, you've got the issue with Crossbones in Sokovia. You've got the issues with Wanda, Scarlet Witch, dealing with her guilt, her remorse for everything that happened in Sokovia, because all things considered it was her fault, but
Mourning of her brother. Drop it on top.
It was a lot to deal with for her. And then you've got Vision to deal with, which ended up being quite a plot point, considering War Machine just plummeting out of the air, and that was
That's not Vision's fault.
It really isn't, because all things considered, that was Sam's fault. Sam could have took the hit.
Oh yeah.
But dealing with that, dealing with bringing Clint back in, even though he was supposed to be going fishing or something like that.
He wanted to just get out of it and stay out of it.
I think we needed a. I think
he was trying to John Wick it, get out and stay out.
Yeah, and it didn't quite work.
Low key, I think John Wick should be part of the MCU.
That would be amazing.
They have an entire backstory of John Wick. He's got his puppy and stuff, and all out of nowhere it just disintegrates in his hands. And then in game, there's events that can't be explained because it's just not explainable. And then they come out with the John Wick 4 movie, and it's just events explained.
Yeah, there's a part of Endgame that I wish had happened, but never actually